It's still, yeah.
Just be like, I might make one of those good ones. Like, hey, we're not really sponsored by it, but we do run on it.
Well, we run specifically off this. Is there anything else you run off of?
First form.
That's post-run.
That's post-run?
That's post-run.
Post-training. All right. So we're episode 10. We know that this time.
Yeah. And we're not going to yell into the mic.
Woo! You're ruining all my fun.
Speaking of WWE, I heard that their ratings have gone down steadily.
Well, yeah.
Like, I'm talking like they said 50% have gone down.
No Ric Flair.
That's what it is. Nature Boy, come back.
I mean, at least come run it. They spent too much money on that stupid football.
XFL?
Yeah.
Dude,
again. Why would you try it again?
I was at that first game in Las Vegas. The very first XFL game that they had at UNLV in Las Vegas. I was there. Everybody thought it was going to be some like crazy, extreme wrestling tied in with football. It was crap.
It was some BT.
Yeah, I wanted some like top rope, drop kick type shit.
Like no flags.
Yeah, no flags.
Did you clothesline me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fumble.
That's right.
Did you clothesline me? Yep. No penalty.
No penalty.
Nope. Get up.
Yeah, quarterbacks, free target. Yeah. No, I like that. You think you're going to catch the ball? Not if you get tackled first.
Nope. I'm going to run to the side, tag my boy in. He's going to continue running.
Yeah. We have just created the ultimate WWE football.
Vince McMahon?
Call us. All right. 1, 2, 3.
I like how you're counting it down this week. Swap it up.
All right. You started off.
No, go ahead.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to Caffeinated and Confident. I'm Harlow.
I'm JP.
And this is episode 10.
And episode 10. We knew the episode number this week.
I know, because we had coffee.
And we talked about it before we started recording.
Yeah, we actually did some homework a little bit.
Well, it's one of those,
do your checklist.
Yeah.
Do your checklist.
We're old. Go ahead and confirm the number now because we'll forget it.
Right. But coffee is supposed to help with Alzheimer's. That's a fact. It's a fact.
That's what I'm doing.
Still
I'm preventing Alzheimer's.
All right. Well, that's good. But with that said, what's the topic today?
Well, I'll say it.
Okay, go.
It's not fucking complicated.
I like it. And we're not trying to be cocky with that, right?
But it's not complicated.
Yeah. It's kind of... Everything should be kind of that simple.
So, yeah, with that being said, I think the larger thing is we're talking about people overcomplicating stuff, getting caught up in...
The how-to instead of the
doing.
Instead of the doing.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, we were in that boat before we started episode 1, right? We talked
absolutely.
We talked about the podcast probably, well, we always said 2 weeks. 2 weeks, but it ended up being like 2 months. But it was paralysis by analysis. What should we do? What equipment should we do? But then we finally simplified everything.
I remember that night. I came in.
Yeah.
And you were like, you know what? We're just going to buy the equipment.
Right.
Let's just do it.
And you were like,
I'm in.
Go.
Go.
Right. And then 5 days later, we had equipment, and now we figure it out. It's not complicated.
We would have gotten stuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not fucking... I'm going to continue. I'll bleep the hell out of this. This episode will be nothing but just beep. It's not fucking complicated.
And to that point, like we said, I think life goes 100 miles an hour. So we should try to keep it simple. Don't try. Keep it simple. If you have a plan, get into the plan. Don't keep planning it.
Right. So we're talking about keeping it simple, not fearing the start, not being afraid of failure, stuff like that. But I mean, you're right. People overcomplicate in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then they use that as a reason to not do whatever.
Right. And I think that ties back to simple. Our other part of this is the fitness world, right? I hear it so many times because we do functional fitness here. So, we ramp it up a little bit. But people are always like, hey, man, I'm getting back into run. I'm gonna run for a month or so and get back into shape, and then I'll come see you. I'm like, well, that's complicated.
Right? Yeah.
Like, how about that's what I'm here for is to...
Come see me.
to help get you in shape, right? And when you step in the door, you don't just get me. You get the entire community support instead of waking up at 5 a.m. because
that's the only time you could run is at 5 a.m. Yeah.
By yourself and go for a mile run, 2 mile run, whatever it is. You're making it complicated. You're making it fucking complicated. Like, seriously.
But do people really pre-fitness before they fitness? Is that a thing?
I've heard that in my life, in my history of gym life. I've heard it way too much.
Really? That's amazing to me. Like, people say, hey, I'm going to go get in shape, but before I get in shape, I got to do this other thing.
Right.
What?
It blew me away. And getting into this, we try to spend too much time in the weeds when simply we had to reach out to the community and just ask people we knew who were professionals almost in this. Like, a friend of mine's a producer, said, hey, what equipment would you jump in on if you were going to do a podcast? He gives me a list of 2 different sets, know.
Yeah, because we didn't know, and that was a limitation in the beginning to us. So we overcame that by saying, hey, what person within our group or community can we reach out to so that we no longer have that excuse of not knowing what to get?
Right. Well, also, it simplified it for us, right?
Oh, absolutely, because we didn't have to think about it then. You get A or you get B.
Boom.
Your choice.
And for me, and I think we were both at first, when we first mentioned it as a ha-ha funny, I got online and started looking at equipment. Well, I went down the wormhole of Amazon. I mean, by the time I was done, it was $25,000. I was like, whoa, what are we doing here? Right.
I mean, just trim it down a little bit, just a little bit.
Let's scrape off. We didn't need that, $1,000 microphone.
No.
We might get that buttery voice.
One day. Dreams.
But hey, that's what we really want to push here too, is don't overcomplicate life in general. And even life's busy, and life will get complicated because scheduling, right? Or traffic sucks, or, there will be the bumps in the road. But be proactive or be active. You don't even have to be proactive. Just be active, not sedatively sitting back, pondering. I'm gonna go get fit. What about this? I'm gonna research this. What's the best gym in town? And
Nashville Fit Lab.
Always. Sometimes it's, I can walk to that gym. Simplified, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to get in my car.
Or it's close to my work, and I can leave there and be right there, within 5 minutes.
Jump out. Also break, hey, you just simplified traffic because got a little breaking point in the 2-hour drive home. I'm going to jump in here and get my workout on and then get back in the car and go.
But it's like we talked about last week with, the guy who didn't want to get up for running because it was raining outside.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, myself, I've done it too, that we say we're going to start something, but then the littlest bump in the beginning, we say, oh, well, that's the reason not to go to the gym or not to start running or not to change my nutrition because I can't do this. I don't have that, or I don't have this. When in reality, what we're preaching here is just keep it simple, and just if you start that process or if you start that action, whatever it is, then that leads you to,
higher place.
Yeah.
It leads you to...
That gets you on the path.
Yeah.
Then you're actually doing it, and you don't have to worry about how do I do it because you're doing it then.
Yeah. And I think in today's world, with everything going so fast, kind of going back to that, and how much information we have at our fingertips, that stalls us out because you're over the top with information. And sometimes I think people really, because we live in the world of, all the great Instagram posts, I'm a millionaire because I sold tennis shoes, I'm a millionaire because, I come up with this app, whatever it is. But I think our society is becoming... They want like the rocket ship to success instead of having to go up the 75 flights of steps.
Well,
right?
Because nobody sees that. This is just going to bug me. Nobody sees those 75 flights. They only see the success story, and nobody promotes the journey. If that makes sense. So
there's a few that kind of promote the journey, but it's usually the struggle at the beginning. And it, hey, it sucked in the middle, and now look at me. They don't, unless you get maybe a one-on-one with them. But again, we're getting 30-second clips on.
But the ones that are highlighted are these people making huge amounts of money, and people, I want to do that, and they think that it's an instant change. It's all I have to do is invent this new product, and I can do just like him.
Right.
Well, you didn't see any of the work you put into that.
Yeah. You didn't see the storefront where the guy was sleeping in the back.
Exactly. Where he was eating ramen noodles for 5
years or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
Tuna fish and ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Just to,
because he was so passionate about success, not worried about how he was going to do it. He just knew he was going to do it, and eating ramen was part of that. That's what he had to do.
But he kept it simple, right?
He kept that budget simple, is what it was.
But in the whole reality of it, kept it simple. Like he's like, all right, or they, whoever you want to talk about, I have enough money to open this location, but now that's got to be my home too. I got to simplify everything to this one point A. I'm at point A, and I have to live in point A until I work my ass off, or sometimes a little luck helps. I can't lie about that. Or opportunity.
Opportunity. I'm a huge promoter of that.
Right. Like, if you're gonna work hard, work on that opportunity. Like, grab it.
It'll come up. Just be ready for it when it does.
Right.
And that's just work.
And again, it's just keeping it simple. Just walk forward as much. We do talk about you have to veer in life because there will be big fails. For me, going back to our episode on failure, I was part of a successful gym that was ramped up rapidly. Like we were hot within 6 months. But I relied on, at that point, my community, aka business partners, and that's when it got complicated, right? That's the hard part. And then I overcomplicated it. Instead of just getting away from it, I was trying to come up with all these other concepts.
Right.
When at the end of the day, I should have simplified and be like, okay, this is not, I have higher moral standards in this, and I just got to go. And if I have to come close this place down, that's what I got to do.
Yeah, it's almost one of those, you just had to rip the Band-Aid and be done with it.
And we don't, yes, we say simplify, but when we say simplify, that's not always success, or not always a forward trajectory.
Right. You might get set back a step or two.
Yeah.
But if your vision remains the same for where you want to go, that step back shouldn't prevent you from achieving that.
Yeah. And that goes back to episode 3 with Lee. Right? He had a coffee shop mindset for 10 years. And now he's been running a fairly successful coffee shop for a year. And it keeps ramping up, right? But he took, his wife took advantage of opportunity. The space was there. Keep it simple. Let's do it. Quit talking about it.
Yeah, and that's what I love is quit talking about it. Oh, and I know we used to say, don't just talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
And so you can talk about it all day, but unless you're putting some action in there, everybody has a great idea. Everybody thinks that they can do this. Well, let's do it.
Yeah. I have a whole Google sheet of ideas.
Right?
You know what I mean?
But let's put some action into those. And, why not?
Mm-hmm. But all that, all the conversation we just had pulls our whole concept into it. Don't feel failure. You got to be confident that you're going to succeed. You got to reach out, use your community, use your support. And I think when we say community, I think still a lot of people think 100 people. Well, a community is 2 people.
Right.
As long as they're like-minded, that's a community.
That's somebody you can bounce ideas off of, share your, whatever your setbacks, your stresses, your failures, your wins, but somebody that can relate to you on that level.
Yeah. And it helps you keep it simple because you may be out here talking crazy and the person across from you may be like, man, that's way overcomplicated.
Yeah.
You need someone to tell you that because you're going 100 miles an hour.
And you don't hear it.
And yeah, you don't hear it. No.
Well, and that's the problem a lot of times nowadays is people don't hear.
They don't hear, right? And when you're trying to keep it simple and you're reaching out to your community, you got to listen. Like, just don't, because if you don't listen, you just made it more fucking complicated. Because the person's sitting right there with the answer in front of you, but you're over here still researching online when the answer is just 5 feet from you.
Well, and that ties into another episode. So, you didn't use that resource right beside you because you didn't take the blinders off and look past the 6 inches in front of your face.
Right. And again, so this is episode 10, and we told you we kind of wanted to make it special, so we're kind of, really wanted to tie our last 9 episodes in, our beliefs, like We want to build as much as we can. We want to spread the word on making people or helping people become the best themselves.
Yes.
And that, in order to do that, you have to keep it simple. For us, like, we're having very simple conversations, trying not to get too overcomplicated and too scientific about everything. Keep it simple. Start the process. Ask for help. And more importantly, truly enjoy the journey. Like,
that's the best part.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you do get to that whatever level of success that you deem, you've achieved whatever you wanted to achieve, looking back on that journey, man, being like, I really struggled last year, man, but look at what I've done now. Look at look at how my work has paid off.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than, realizing what you thought was impossible is now reality.
And sadly, it's a simple reality now, right? You did all the hard work, now it's simple.
Keep it going.
Again, bumps in the road. But to get to that successful point, you do have to simply accept the suck sometimes.
You do, because it's going to be, that process is not going to be easy.
Never.
And there's going to be, like we said a minute ago, setbacks and failure and, times where you question your life. You question everything. Why am I doing this? I'm doing it all wrong. What have I done here? But that, again, that's part of the process. And I mean, like you said, you got to accept that suck, because that's just part of it, man.
Yeah. And that was a big learning lesson for me on multiple things in life. But going back to the first gym I was involved with, I had to just accept the suck that this thing's going to go down in flames. So I had to take my step back, right? I waited a couple years, opened my other gym. We're having a ball. Had just great community, loved everybody there. Everybody was friends, much like here. But this was prior to me stepping into this Fit Lab. And then all of a sudden, hey, lease is coming up. It's going to go way up. What are you going to do? Well,
I can't afford that new lease, yeah.
Right, I can't afford it. I had to keep it simple. I couldn't. If I accepted the lease at that price, I was really going to complicate things. So I just had to keep it simple and be like, we're out. That's again, I had to accept that suck. And that was like 2015 when that all went down. And then opportunity knocked, and I walked into Fit Lab just to help out, and now I'm co-owner.
But you were ready for that opportunity when it came around.
Right, yes.
And that's what I think a lot of people, they don't see, or they're not ready for that, and they don't take advantage of that opportunity when it presents itself. And that's almost a bigger failure than just regular failure in the process. Not recognizing that opportunity and not seizing that opportunity. It comes around, I mean, it's rare that it does, but when that opportunity meets, you got to do something with it, man.
Yeah. And even when the opportunity came up, I almost caught myself, and my wife is a huge support system in my life. I was overcomplicating it. I was making it fucking complicated because I was overthinking it, scared. I was scared. Let's go ahead.
Fear comes in there. Yeah. It absolutely does.
And she's just like, do it. And that's really the finite words that she had. I mean, we had a little conversation back and forth about time and this and that, and she finally looked at me and goes, do it.
It's similar to Lee's wife.
Yeah, right on the same page.
Right. So it's one of those. She recognized, dude, he's just making this way too complicated than it should be. She knew what you needed to do, but you just needed to hear it from her.
Right.
Or from someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you needed that support system to say, hey, you're good. You got it. You can do it.
Well, and if again, I'd been in the world a few times, but if I'd been new to it and the opportunity to present myself, and I had went probably online and looked at, did my dive deep, what's the success rate of new gyms, what's the success rate of second owners, I would have been insane.
Oh, that'll lead you into a dark place.
Yeah, and I would have probably, again, made it complicated, fucking complicated, let's be clear. We're bleeping a lot today. And never accepted the opportunity or missed it because fear, the guy the former owner would have just been like, I'm selling the place.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to make your mind up.
Or I'm closing the place because I can't wait for you. So then it doesn't even exist. And if it doesn't exist, not only is my life not as good, but that would have affected 30, 40 other people.
And this podcast would never have been there.
Never have been there. See, opportunity. Right?
Opportunity came around.
Yeah. Yeah, because Jason thought I was a total asshole when he first met me.
Well, I don't know. I still think that sometimes. But it was because we were here one night, and I asked you, I said, hey, do you mind if I come in and record some video from here? And then that just led into our conversation about making videos or podcast. And then before you know it, here we are.
Kept it simple. Got it done. Made it to episode 10. Numbers are tracking up. I mean, we're not breaking the internet by any means, but
we're breaking the internet, Steve.
For Old Man, we're crushing it.
We're crushing the internet.
That's right.
We're breaking it like a hip.
Easy now. You still got to walk out of here today.
Still got walk her out of here today.
Walk her out of here.
Walk her out of here.
Yeah, we'll have to put that up on a video for you. Like, we bring all these bags in to set up the studio, and his walker gets in the way.
Yeah. Steve has really played up that old man on me nowadays.
Hey, he's younger than me, so I have to, and I still have not fell at the gas station.
Yet. But you can't fear that fall.
I can't.
And when you do fall, get back up. Pump that fucking gas, and you get back in your car. And don't worry about those people who laughed at you because they saw you fall.
My favorite part of that is
fuck them.
They didn't even check on you.
Fuck them. This episode is one big beep sound.
I know it.
Yeah.
But, we have fun. And
it's episode 10, man. We're
having fun. We're excited that the journey's led us here. To move forward from here, we have some great ideas, and we're looking at plugging some remote guests in.
I'm excited about what we talked, even just our conversation yesterday, leaving the gym, and we both have that vision of where we could go with this, and I think we're definitely on the right journey.
And we're trying to keep it simple, trying to give you all good content. Always looking for comments down anywhere. Social media, we keep saying that, and that's the way of the world. If you want to reach anyone these days, you can do it on social media.
Right, reach out.
Right? So we have Instagram currently. YouTube is up now under the Caffeinated and Confident branding.
And I got to make that Caffeinated and Confident. I got to make that YouTube page. You're right.
I'm sorry.
That was a little premature, but yes, it is on my to-do list.
So keep it simple, right? Should I ask you that?
And that's like me saying, hey, the Caffeinated and Confident website's up.
It is in works.
Yeah.
It's in the works. We do have we do have the address. At least we got that, right?
We started the process. But yeah, we are super excited about the future. Just as a little, kind of drop a little hints, I think one of the next 1 or 2 episodes coming up is going to be huge on how you can affect your community. Just you as one human being can affect the entire community. We're going to try to bring in a guest on that one. Still working through the logistics on that. And then, again, 1 or 2 episodes from now, working on a good episode of the true Speak It, Do It episode. Trying to bring in some guests.
And that's going to, both of those are going to be some of my favorite episodes.
I think the guest in general is going to be one of our more, I hate to say more, it's going to be more like one of our more often used formats here because once we realize that third person, we can do it really easy, we'll start exploding that, man.
And it gets back into that. Sometimes you just need the person across from you to help teach you things. And that's what we want to use these guests for. They're, pioneers in the community, pioneers in the medical world. I truly believe this, or that's what we're looking to get. So we'll definitely hit up all the socials with all the updates. So stay tuned. Life's getting good around here. And
10 is a strong number.
10's a strong number.
10 is strong, man.
20 is going to be better. That's my viewpoint.
That was it.
Yep.
I mean, we're not settling.
Nope, no settlement here. So with that said, episode 10 of Caffeinated Confident is in the books. I'm Harlow.
I'm JP.
Later.